K&C Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan, where never mind what we were going to talk about. Because, ladies and gentlemen, per multiple sources, we have kind of breaking news. Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero in the commercial break. Rappaported that the Cowboys are currently working on hiring Christian Parker as their new defensive coordinator. The Eagles secondary coach and passing game coordinator was interviewed by the Cowboys. This is somebody that I think we all like a whole lot, and he's somebody who feels like he has been moving up in the coaching world for some time, had a lot of talented players and all pros already in the secondary. That is the report that the Cowboys have targeted, zeroed in on him, and they are working on the deal right now.
It's not done.
It is not done, but the hope is that it will be, and that Christian Parker would be the next defensive coordinator for your Dallas Cowboys.
I think it's fascinating how quickly this dude became the favorite amongst the at least our station.
Sure.
Immediately hearing about him. Listening to Broadus and his gang of seven, and the communication, the teacher that this guy is, this is a positive thing. I don't know. I'm interested to know how many people are like, oh my gosh, this is going to help us against the Eagles. Like that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
The tree that he comes out of, really good. I'm very excited about this. Christian Parker, if they can get this deal done. Don't you get the sense that like they would not have tweeted this out if they were not uber confident?
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. No, this is the thing too, though. Like when it comes to we've given Shoddy a lot of credit on this and the speed at which they are working. Now maybe Steven is like, hey, I'm here too. But it feels like Schottenheimer's like, and when you go back to the first coaching search with his staff that he had last year, Eberflus wasn't the one that he was like, let me go grind this interview out.
Right.
It was kind of like all right, Jerry and Steven want him, and I'll give him the thumbs up. But all these other guys, he did some real distinct research to make sure that he got these guys in here. This seems and feels like another one to say, hey, we're adding this guy. Now, somebody said Jerry's just making headlines for this weekend. There's a lot of other coaches getting hired. Like seems like it's the cycle that's happening at the yesterday when we saw the Flores news, and then as we're moving forward here, I don't think this is them trying to get a headline.
Yeah,
this is smart.
I think that text is so off base because this is one of the worst people to hire for that. Who is Christian Parker?
Yeah.
In terms of name value.
Yeah, it's not Brian Flores.
Yeah, you would have paid all of the money to get Brian Flores. Hell, you would have paid, or you would have just hired Jonathan Gannon, right?
Yep.
And you'd have been like, oh, look at the Cowboys. They just picked up a former NFL head coach from like 5 seconds ago. No. Instead, you're going with somebody who a little bit more than a decade ago was the defensive backs coach for Virginia State. He got into the NFL with the Packers 6 years ago as a defensive quality control coach.
In 19, yeah.
This feels like the opposite of what the Cowboys always do. Hey, look at what they did last year. They got Eberflus, and you're like, wow, what a name. Is he still good at coaching? I don't know about that.
This guy was a defensive analyst for A&M.
Yeah!
What a bunch of chumps.
Hey, shut up.
All right.
That's your guy now. You have to support him. But with Christian Parker feels like somebody who, for the general public, I know people in the football know. Obviously, they know him. They know all about him. They're like, who?
Yeah.
But I think of all the candidates, this is the person that I wanted the most. He feels like the right decision football-wise. And how often over the years have the Cowboys not picked the right person football-wise because we felt like they picked the bigger name?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A lot.
Or somebody that they're just comfortable with.
Yes.
Somebody that's been a head coach before. Like, that's always been a stat that that guy, he could be a head coach anywhere. We love doing that. I get that part of it, but this is I like this a lot. Their defense, 24 forward. Yards, Philadelphia was 1 in 24. They were 2 in points given up.
I accept.
as they go win a Super Bowl.
Hell, you could add a 1 before both of those numbers, and I accept for this defense.
This year in points, they were 5, and they were 13 in yards. I think there's a little bit to do with that offense there,
Sorry,
too.
say again what the numbers
5 and 13 this year. Still really good. I'm going to go look at some more information there, too, but this is a name that I like, and a dude that has a lot of respect around the league already at 34 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. From the 806, talking about Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and then I do see some other people asking if he's benefited from the talent acquisitions. Look, I always think it's a combination, not just one thing or the other. And just 1 second from the 469, no, the Cowboys needed to get Gannon as the defensive coordinator. This sucks, but they said they're an Eagles fan. So that is good news.
Right? That person's been on for a while now.
Now, we bring on from Sean and RJ, it is in fact Bobby Belt. Bobby, the news is trickling in. The deal is not official, but the reason they tweeted it out is because Christian Parker is going to be the Dallas Cowboys' next defensive coordinator. Your thoughts?
Very, very exciting. He is a real up and coming ascending coaching star. People absolutely love him. Mike Pettin, who had been on staff with Shoddy with the Jets years ago when Shoddy was offensive coordinator, Pettin was the defensive coordinator for the Jets, and would have their practice battles and chirp at each other, got really competitive. But Pettin had put Christian Parker on staff in Green Bay a few years ago and had raved about him and how bright he is and how sharp he is and how he just sees everything, every individual job and every individual part of a defense and how it's supposed to come together. And then, I mean, you heard throughout the year, whenever those Eagles games would come up, Schottenheimer could not say enough glowing things about Vic Fangio, and Fangio had kept him on staff 4 years in a row and had continued to increase his responsibilities. I mean, I think it's a really, really great hire.
How do you feel about the fact that, I mean, look, I'm sorry, I know we've picked on this individual, but Christian Parker, who is ascending through the coaching ranks, as opposed to going with somebody like Jonathan Gannon, who, like Eberflus before, had a bigger name, bigger national profile, but felt like somebody who was descending in the NFL world?
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said for, I always believe people didn't, because they have a bad stop somewhere or have a negative experience somewhere, I don't think they become bad coaches overnight. So if Jonathan Gannon had 8 years of everybody going like, this is the next guy up, and he's super sharp and great defensive mind, I don't think Arizona just ends that, just like it didn't end Dan Quinn in Atlanta. Like, he could come here and be a good defensive coordinator. So I thought any of the 4 candidates would have been good options, including Jonathan Gannon. But if you want to talk about what they were looking for in terms of communicator and somebody who holds people accountable and flexible, forward thinker, like, that's all Christian Parker. Christian Parker, there's no, you hear about in school, they talk about show your work. Like, here's the stuff that show your work. Christian Parker's very big on that. You can read profiles of him that have been written in The Athletic and other places, and they talk specifically about Christian Parker saying nobody gets to just sit in the meeting rooms. Even if you have the right answer, you need to tell me why that's the right answer. We need to know that you understand it. So there's a lot of accountability there. He is considered just a total savant and religious note taker. There was something he had told The Athletic that every new experience he encounters in football, he makes a journal entry of it and details what happened so that if a situation comes up in the future, he can go to his organized tabs, reference what his experience was with it, instead of just relying on his memory. He's very, very detail-oriented, very bright, and comes from that Fangio coaching tree and some of those coaching systems and concepts that Shoddy is clearly very big on. And I think it also speaks to hiring a 34-year-old first-time defensive coordinator. As much as people wanted to chirp that it was just, Shoddy's a puppet and this will be a Jones hire, I promise the Joneses didn't identify and seek out Christian Parker from the jump as their old school hire. So this was 100% Shoddy's hire, as they had said it was going to be, and as we had talked about on the station for weeks now.
Cooper DeJean says, I don't think I'd be the player I am, or I'd have the success that I've had without him. Specifically,
I love that.
He said, I could say a lot of things about him. Him and Quinyon Mitchell developed into all-pro cornerbacks thanks to what they say is thanks to Christian Parker. A lot of people saying, hey guys, let's be real. This isn't the same talent on this roster, though, right now.
Sure,
so,
I concede.
So, Bobby, as far as like developing and how that goes, they still have to add talent for this guy, correct?
Yeah, they still have to add talent, but I think it's important to look at, you look at Savone Revel and Kalen Carson, and you feel like they haven't been maximized. Whether Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are really, really talented, he clearly has started to max out their ability. That's what matters.
Yes.
Are you getting the most out of them? Matt Eberflus was not getting the most out of anybody, and that was a problem. And, one of the things we heard about is it seems like there was feedback, whether it be from teachers about them wanting to play coverage or that kind of falling on deaf ears and not getting the things they wanted out of the defense, the things they were comfortable with out of the defense. That, again, is not Christian Parker. Christian Parker talks about that when he was in Green Bay early in his career, he saw the way that Tramon Williams had studied film and was really impressed by it and saw he had a very detailed process, so he started asking him about it and learning from it. And Christian Parker said from that he developed the philosophy that he needed to meet people where they were. And so a big part of it is he would ask every player he was working with, what is your most comfortable way of learning? How do you feel you learn best? What's the comfortability of your process? And then he tailors the things they're learning to that process. And so he's very person-to-person, tailored and uniquely coached. And I think that that's going to be a big thing for them. And I also think, remember, he's a secondary guy. He's going to deal with a lot of that. He still has others on staff, and all likelihood, I would imagine guys like Aaron White-Cotton will be back, and those guys will continue to build on some of the things that worked for Jadeveon Clowney or Donovan Ezeraku or Quinnen Williams when he returned.
Now, I know you made reference to some people thought, or probably still do think, that Shoddy was a puppet. This feels like a very un-Cowboys-like hire. Are you surprised that this ended up being the selection?
I thought that the bigger, they all clearly, a lot of people in that organization have thought really, really highly of Jim Leonhard for a long time.
Yeah.
That's why his name came up as quickly as it did. So Leonhard, I thought, was the guy they targeted early from the beginning. I had heard his interview, the initial one. It wasn't bad. I just heard it was decent. It was like, yeah, it was good. I don't think he necessarily blew them away. I think Christian Parker really impressed them. I think Durante Jones really impressed them. I think Gannon impressed them with certain things. But I think in the end, I'm not surprised that he got into the final stage. From there, it's just a matter of who won out. But I don't think I was surprised about him being one of the final four candidates. I'm surprised they're moving maybe as quickly to just go ahead and name him before getting a face-to-face with Jim Leonhard. But, no, I think this was someone that very early on had a really strong shot at the job.
Now, I know we've been over all of the reasons why Al Harris...
It's still not done, so let's make sure it's still not done yet.
It's done.
Okay.
So I know we've gone over all the reasons why Al Harris wasn't going to be back, despite some people wanting that, but the timing of this is very interesting to me, is Al Harris is also interviewing for the Packers defensive coordinator job, like right kind of at the same time that the Cowboys are like, don't worry about it, we found our guy anyway. So I like that. Man, thank you very much for jumping on with us and giving us your thoughts about the breaking news, Bobby.
I love you all.
We love you back.
Did your thoughts on Christian McCaffrey?
He's gone.
All right. Christian McCaffrey is terrible.
Okay.
He is terrible. Tom Rath. He's basically a less durable Tom Rathman.
Tom Rathman was a good player. Couldn't you just say you don't think
I know. Yeah, he should be a top 5 finalist for MVP too.
Love you, Bobby.
There you go.
Love you. Bye.
Bobby Bell.